There comes a time in every soul's journey where the storm ceases, the dust settles, and the silence speaks. It does not whisper fear, it echoes purpose. This is that moment. You, the chosen one, stand at the threshold of destiny. The test is over. You've been approved. The crown is no longer a dream, it's your destiny. What once felt like unreachable heights is now ground beneath your feet. You've climbed. You've fallen. You've stood again, bruised yet unbowed. Every moment of pain carved the corridors through which your light now flows. Every trial was never meant to crush you, but to awaken you. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. You've endured silent nights, the kind where prayers feel unanswered and progress feels invisible. But even in the silence, heaven was watching. Not a tear wasted. Not a groan ignored. The fire was fierce, but so was your faith. You passed through it not because you were strong, but because you refused to quit. Now the shift has come. This is the season where everything aligns. The pieces that once seemed scattered beyond reason now arrange themselves like stars into a divine constellation. The delays weren't denials, they were divine detours. What was once withheld is now released, not just because you were ready, but because it's time. The realm shifts, and the throne calls your name. There is a throne that only you can fill. Not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. Not because you know all answers, but because you've surrendered to the one who does. Heaven doesn't call the perfect, it calls the willing. And you, chosen one, were willing to wait, to weep, to walk when others sat down. You've waited, grown, suffered, now it's time to rise and reign. The waiting forged your patience. The growing matured your vision. The suffering birthed your compassion. Every scar tells a story, and every story prepares you to lead. This is not just your promotion. This is your transformation. You no longer walk as you once did. You no longer speak from theory, you speak from the trenches. You were tested in private so you could be trusted in public. The wilderness was never meant to be permanent. It was the training ground. The battlefield behind the curtain. You were hidden, not forgotten. You were groomed in secret so you could shine in the open. Now, the doors open wide, not as a reward for your perfection, but as a recognition of your perseverance. Your name has been called in the heavens. Your seat at the table is ready. Do not approach the throne with timidity. You've already proven your loyalty when no one was watching. You've already given your yes, when it cost you everything. Now walk in what's been spoken over your life. You're not an imposter, you're anointed. The world needs what you carry. Your voice, your vision, your wisdom, earned through years of fire and faith, isn't just for you. It's for the ones who come after. The crown was never about ego. It's about responsibility. It's about service. It's about legacy. This is not the end of the journey, it's the end of the test. Now begins your rule. But remember, kings and queens who forget the fire that formed them often lose their way. Never forget the nights you cried. Never forget the days you fought. Stay grounded in grace, for it was grace that brought you here. Stay humble in victory, for it was humility that kept you steady. You've been approved, but not just by people. You've been validated by purpose. Every delay, every rejection, every closed door, none of it was accidental. You were being saved for something sacred. You are not here by accident. You are here because heaven scheduled your arrival. The time of hiding is over. This is your unveiling. This is your rising. This is your moment to step forward, not as a question mark, but as a declaration. You are the answer to someone's prayer. You are the fulfillment of ancient promises. The dream is real because you were always meant to bring it to life. Walk with fire in your eyes and peace in your heart. The season of proving is past. The season of reigning has begun. Let them wonder how you survived. Let them marvel at how you shine. But never forget, it was never just about survival. It was always about ascension. Because you are more than chosen. You are crowned. You are called. You are confirmed. And now, the test is over. You've been approved. Now that the crown rests upon your head, remember this, with great elevation comes greater clarity. You can see farther now, not just across kingdoms, but into hearts. You were not lifted to look down on others, but to lift them up. The true mark of a chosen one is not in how high they rise, but in how deeply they love. You were not chosen for comfort. You were chosen for consequence. Your presence shifts atmospheres. Your words realign destinies. When you speak now, it's not just your voice, it's the echo of every silent night, every quiet victory, every whispered prayer that sustained you when no one else could. That echo carries power because it comes from pain transformed into purpose. This throne is not a chair, it's a calling. The world may applaud the crown, but heaven remembers the crushing. Never allow the glamour of the present to dull the grit of your past. You didn't get here overnight. You didn't inherit this, you became this. And in becoming, you learned that the throne is not about being served. It's about sacrificial leadership. Now is the time to lead with fire and gentleness. This world doesn't just need leaders. It needs light bearers. It needs warriors who've been wounded and still choose mercy. It needs dreamers who remember the weight of delay, so they walk slowly with those still waiting. You are no longer simply a student of hardship. You are now a steward of hope. The test is over, but the mission has just begun. There will still be battles, internal and external. You'll be tempted to shrink, to forget, to conform. But the same force that sustained you in secret will empower you in public. Never forget your source. Your strength is not in your title, it's in your truth. And the truth is, you are still growing. Approval does not mean perfection. It means permission. Permission to build. Permission to influence. Permission to reign with righteousness and responsibility. You will make mistakes, yes, but even those will be woven into a story far greater than your own. Do not allow fear to rob you of momentum. You've waited long enough. The voice that once said, "You're not ready," now says, "Go." Move forward with boldness. Create, speak, build, heal. What you've carried in secret is now meant to be poured out. The treasure inside you was not meant to be buried, it was meant to become bread for the hungry, shelter for the weary, and fire for the cold. You are the answer wrapped in human form. The generation you live in is groaning, searching for leaders who carry authenticity, not just authority. The old ways are dying. Systems are shaking. Thrones are toppling. But the kingdom built inside you will not be moved, because it was built in surrender, not ambition. Chosen one, do not waste your coronation. This moment is sacred. Treat it as such. Every crown has weight. Every throne has cost. But the weight will not break you, it will balance you. The cost will not bankrupt you, it will enrich you. You have been trained to carry what others fear. You have been molded to move what others ignore. You are not just a ruler, you are a revealer. You reveal the strength of surrender. You reveal the beauty of resilience. You reveal the glory of God in the midst of broken places. Your journey was not just for you. It was so that others could believe that they too can rise. The time for hiding is over. Your voice will open gates. Your presence will silence storms. You will walk into rooms and shift their temperature, not by trying to impress, but by simply being who you were born to be. You've been approved not to copy, but to create. Your uniqueness is not a weakness, it is your weapon. You are not late. You are right on time. Every delay was a divine setup. Every detour was a disguised direction. Every closed door was protection. Heaven orchestrated your unveiling with precision. You were not forgotten, you were being forged. You were not overlooked, you were being overshadowed until the right moment. And now, this is the right moment. The crown sits not just on your head, but in your heart. It does not glisten only in gold, it burns in purpose. Your name is etched in the scrolls of heaven, not for what you've gained, but for what you've overcome. You are a witness to the truth that pain births purpose, that pressure creates power. So now, rise. Rise not just in status, but in stature. Speak with clarity. Walk with authority. Love without fear. Reign with compassion. Stand when others bow to fear. Move when others hesitate. Be the example, the light, the flame. You were chosen not to chase, but to call. Call others up. Call others out of hiding. Call dreams out of dormancy. Call nations back to the light. There's a sound in your spirit that shakes foundations. Don't silence it. Let it roar. Let it redeem. Let it rebuild everything that was once broken. You carry revival, not in rituals, but in your very breath. The test is over. You've been approved. And with that approval comes a mantle. A mantle of leadership, of love, of legacy. Wear it well. Guard it fiercely. Pass it on when the time comes. But for now, walk boldly. You are the chosen one. And the world will never be the same again. Now that you wear the mantle, know this, it is not meant to make you shine, it is meant to make others see. The essence of being chosen is not to become the center, but to become the vessel. Your rising was never just about status, it was about service. You were elevated not to stand above, but to bend lower, to reach deeper, to touch lives that have forgotten what hope feels like. You carry more than a title. You carry a torch. And torches are meant to burn, to guide, to light the way for others walking in darkness. When they see you, they won't just see success, they'll see survival. They'll see strength woven through surrender, clarity born through chaos, and purpose forged in pressure. You are a map for the lost. A lighthouse for the weary. Your light will expose some things. Do not be afraid when it causes discomfort. Light reveals both beauty and brokenness. And that is your calling, not to blind, but to illuminate. Not to dominate, but to disciple. Not to demand loyalty, but to demonstrate love. Chosen one, do not shrink to make others comfortable. You've already spent years hiding, doubting, minimizing your brilliance. No more. This is not arrogance, it's agreement. You are not boasting in self, you are boasting in the grace that carried you, the mercy that molded you, and the fire that finished you. To deny your greatness now is to dishonor the God who gave it. You were not given this moment to second-guess it. You are not an accident. You are not lucky. You are appointed. The oil that rests upon you was crushed from your past. Every mistake, every misstep, every moment you thought disqualified you, was actually preparing you. You don't have to apologize for being anointed. You don't have to explain why favor found you. You don't need to seek validation in people who never saw your process. You've been approved by the only one whose approval matters. And when heaven speaks, yes, no man can unwrite it. But remember, favor is not a shield from responsibility. It is an invitation into deeper stewardship. What will you build with the wisdom you've gained? What will you protect with the love you now carry? What injustices will you confront, not with anger, but with authority? What legacies will you leave, not of things, but of transformation? Because at the end of it all, the true evidence of your approval is not what you have, but what you give away. The lives you touch, the healing you bring, the hope you release, these are the signs of a true king, a true queen. The ones who lead not just with hands, but with hearts. Who remember the pain of the pit even while sitting in the palace. Your approval isn't a finish line, it's a commissioning. You are being sent, not to escape the world, but to enter it more fully. With wisdom, yes. With discernment, absolutely. But with your whole heart. This is the season to be fully alive, fully aligned, fully awakened. You've spent enough time in survival mode. Now it's time to create. Write the book. Start the movement. Heal the family. Rebuild the bridge. Speak the vision. Launch the dream. Establish the order. Restore the land. Birth the promise. Name the legacy. Don't wait for permission, walk in the approval already given. The test is over. You passed. You endured. You overcame. Now walk like it. Think like it. Speak like it. Build like it. Serve like it. Pray like it. Love like it. Every step you take now shakes the ground. You carry a new frequency. That's why old spaces feel uncomfortable. That's why old relationships no longer fit. That's why you're being called out, not to isolation, but to elevation. You can't shrink and soar at the same time. You've outgrown the shallow. Welcome to the deep. Deep purpose. Deep connection. Deep joy. Deep impact. You're not chasing the spotlight anymore, you are becoming the light. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs clarity. And clarity flows through those who've been crushed, cleansed, and called. Your name will be spoken in rooms you've never entered, not for fame, but because your story carries answers. Your past no longer owns you. Your mistakes no longer define you. Your failures are not chains, they are chapters. And your scars, they are sacred. Wear them, show them. They testify that healing is possible. They prove that resurrection is real. You are walking proof that purpose can survive pain. Let the doubters watch. Let the critics murmur. Let the fearful mock. You've seen the fire. You've survived the silence. You've heard the whisper of God calling your name in the middle of the storm. And now you walk not with questions, but with confidence. Not with ego, but with eternity in your eyes. Not to be seen, but to see others. You've become what you once needed. You are the comfort you cried for. The guidance you searched for. The voice you waited to hear. And because of that, you will lead with understanding. You will love with depth. You will serve with insight. You are not who you were. And you will never be the same. Heaven doesn't call those who are qualified. It qualifies those who say, yes. You said yes in the dark. You said yes while bleeding. You said yes when it cost you everything. And now that yes is opening doors that no man can shut. So go. Not in haste, but in power. Not to compete, but to complete what was started in you. The test is over. And you, chosen one. You've been approved. Now reign.